impact was this week? Your mic is off for it, Carla. Let's see here. Can't hear you. Let's see here. Angel, can you hear?
No,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. All right. Nobody can hear you. No, man. All right. Well, while Carla comes back in, let's go ahead and go with LJ. Miss Laura Johnson. What's going on, Laura? Good
Oh,
morning.
great morning, Mr. Bean. Great morning. Everything is well. Everything is great. So, just so grateful, first of all, for this format, for Crash Camp, for you and Mrs. Bean. And so, I can't ever say enough about how much gratitude I have for the two of you and your fortitude. So one of the first things that my takeaways for this week was the millionaire mindset call. When I grow up, I want to be a leader like you, Mr. Bean. I want to be able to have a level of transparency, honesty, openness that you portrayed on our millionaire mindset call. You never crumble under the pressure. And I know it's a lot of pressure because leadership is not easy in no way, shape, or form. And so you're just being exemplary in that area is just so impactful for me in my life, in different areas of my life, in my own role as a leader outside of this arena, and just in every aspect. And then for you having the foresight to be able to bring us this platform where we can grow and learn and evolve into people that can bring so much value to the people around us. So that was my biggest impact this week. But in terms of the GCU, it was Dave. It was Dave on Monday in regards to urgency, which so Eddie sort of repeated yesterday. He called it being reasonable, but Dave said when you're speaking to someone about doing something or getting them to look at something in a different perspective so that they can make a decision, tell them what they get by doing it right now, and tell them what they lose by not doing it right now. And I thought that was very appropriate to our circumstances, because whenever we're sharing some type of opportunity with a person, then we should have the understanding that there is so much value in what we're offering, that there's something for them to lose if they don't do it, and don't do it now, because if they procrastinate, they may never do it. And there's something for them to gain. So everybody's favorite radio station is What's in It for Me. So we have to speak to that. So that was the two most important things that I understood. So thank you very much for allowing me to share.
Well, we started off leadership this morning. That's what I'm talking about. So, leadership requires, integrity and courage, 100% of the time. And when you look at transparency, if you can be transparent with a person when you're up and when you're doing great, you should be able to be transparent with a person when things are the exact opposite. And so that's when people really get to know who they're doing business with. And so if you duck and hide when things are not going great, and you can't have a hard conversation with a person when things are not going great, then you're not a leader. You're a consumer. You're somebody that they can do business with on a consumer level, but you're not somebody that they can actually follow. And so I can't trust you unless you can trust yourself in situations. And so again, that's important. And like I said, Big Brother Dave talked about, urgency. And like you said, Eddie doubled down and called it reasonable, being reasonable. The pros and cons, writing things out, the Benjamin Franklin method, and just writing things out, pros and cons, and the goods and bads, and the goods, should always outweigh the bads, and the goods to be so good that a person can feel it in your spirit when you're telling them about it. Like you shouldn't have to tell a person how great it is; they should be able to feel it. Like you have to, like you can't hold it, and like you would feel sorry for them. You almost got to tell them, "I'm gonna pray for you if you don't do it." With how you present it. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, Lord, I'm just saying I gotta be able to tell Lord, this is going to solve all of your problems. It's going to solve all you, this is the answer to everything. This is like the cheat code to success and getting what you want out of life. And if you don't go forward, I feel bad for you. Like, and I have to be able to emote all of that. I gotta be able to bring that across without saying none of that. Okay. And so that's important. That's urgency. And so if I'm offering you something, you're going to buy it because I'm going to make sure I put you in a position where you have to attach an emotion to it. So that's good stuff. That's a good way to kick us off. I appreciate you. All right, Marva, what's going on, Marva?
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Well,
morning.
I'm at work, so I can't say much, but I did get the same thing as Laura got on Monday from Dave, and then um yesterday
Eddie.
Eddie, but I drew a blank. But anyway, Kelvin helped me with my script on I think Thursday.
Mhm.
And today I want to let y'all know, and I need everybody thoughts and good prayers behind me. I'm right now sitting in front of a church doing parking enforcement for the events of the day. So the funeral director came to me because the lady ran over my cone, and I said, cone killer, just being who I am. and and she said, oh, we all needed to laugh today, you know.
Mhm.
So the guy from the funeral parlor saw me and he says, you know what? We need you at our lot at the
Mm,
funeral home.
right,
So I'm going to have to really put this script I'm working on, thanks to the opportunity of Grant Cardone
right.
and being a part of your whole program with Miss Carla and Laura, and thank Carla enough, thinking enough of me to have the level of integrity is required to be a part of such an organization. So you guys put all the good juju behind me because I'm gonna have to use that thing on Monday.
You got it. You
So,
already got
all right.
need to
Thank
go out
you.
there, be you. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and show people who you are and why you're out there doing your thing. You know what I mean? Because yeah, people when you clock in, they expect you to be one way. They RoboCop, the female version. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. And so it's like when you can crack a joke, make people laugh, and it just, and do your job at the same time, not take this thing too serious. That's what people they want to be around people like that.
I mean, and
Again,
it was a funeral, and they came in here and they said, "Oh, man, we really needed to laugh today." And
yeah.
I said, and I know who her mama is because I helped in the door. I'm gonna tell her mama on it, and everybody just rolled. So, all right, great day.
Humility, education, entertainment, and message. And that entertainment, again, guys, you got to have a sense of humor. Don't take yourself too serious. Let your hair down. Always look for a window to make a person smile. You know what I mean? And that's that, if you do anything but that, like I have an agenda. When I meet people, guys, it's like even if I'm not meeting them, I'm bumping into them, or I'm crossing their path, or or we just in now in that same window, same space for a second or two. My goal is not to get a phone number or to get a business partner. My goal is to make you smile or make you laugh or make you make you feel different than you were before we connected. And so and then I'll build on top of that. And so I'll come with a compliment, or I'll say, and I tell people all the time, look, hey, I don't mean anything by it. I'm married. I just want to tell you, I love that jacket. I just want to tell you, I love those shoes. I just want to tell you, great hairstyle, whatever. And it's just paying a person a compliment. You know what I mean? And so as a guy, you always have to get a disclaimer. Let a person know, take it down. Hey, I'm married. I ain't got no agenda. I just want to tell you, boom. Or hey, big dog, and you give them a compliment. And so, and it's just you working on that. It's like the agreement drill. It's just to make them smile drill, make them make their day drill. You know what I mean? And that's all it is just taking a moment out your day to and making an investment in somebody else by making their day a whole lot better. Okay. So you never know what a person's going through, when you bump into them. And just so happens that, Marvel was at work, had, in a funeral procession. So, at the end of the day, who can't use a smile or a laugh there? Right? All right. Come on, come on, come on. Carla, let's see if you're back with a voice.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
So, thank you
Y'all know
so
Carla
much.
be wanting to go first, you know what I'm saying? That's just she had to go third today. This eating away at her right now, boy.
It's okay. It's all right. I just want to thank you once again for the platform on my angel investor and Miss Angel Trim is the host. My angel investor, Miss Laura Johnson. And the Millionaire Mindset call on Monday, as Mrs. Johnson said, thank you for, letting us know when it's time to shift. And when you feel that it's necessary for us to shift and to grow in a different direction and, when we have to make adjustments, and being flexible in what it is that we're attempting to do and how we're attempting to grow. So I just want to thank you for that and for your 100% transparency. And actually, this week I've been focusing on the modules, that cold call modules, especially because we have an event coming up at work later on this month, and I need to get at least 25 new employers to attend our internship fair. So working on mastering that cold call as I'm beginning to call some employees that we had in the past and some new ones that we want to get to come to the internship fair. So my goal today is to adjust the PS5 in that particular arena. So to use it as like Mrs. Marva Packett has been doing. She's been adjusting her PS5 for her purposes. I'm going to be adjusting the PS5 for ours. So that's it. That's all. And thank you so much.
You know what? The PS4 was actually a PS5 was actually a PS3 at one point in time. Then it became a PS4, right? And then it became a PS5. Anything that works can work better, if you put your touch on it. You know what I'm saying? If it's remember, this is just the foundation. It's just a script, and every script can be manipulated. Every script can be, tweaked and to fit a certain situation, right? And so, like, I have some things that I'm working on. Like, I'll go through here. Like, I was talking to an influencer on Thursday, and messed his head up. I hit him with the PS5. It was on a whole entirely different situation. But it's like you said, you got to tweak it and get to what you need to say in as least amount of steps as possible. So when I'm looking at him, I say, okay, so this obviously don't apply to him at all, but these two things here do, and I just add me one more thing and I'll be good. But I had my big claim and what I was going to come to the table with and what I was going to bring to the table and in this situation. And now all of a sudden, instead of me chasing him, I'm telling him I'll get back to him on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, grab it, and it's because I hit him with it so good, I gave him the Sam Bean experience. There wasn't nothing he could do with it. You know what I'm saying? So you put that PS5 with the Sam Bean experience, hey, it's a problem. And so the same thing. You put that PS5 with the Carla Wayne experience, it's a problem. So hey, and that's the thing. When once you figure it out, once you do your tweaks, that's what you got Laura's eyeballs there for. Hey, Laura, am I missing anything? What would you say different, or how would you approach it? Or whoever else, myself, whatever. Just work with it, work on it, tweak that thing. All right, good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Let's see here. Angel, I'm gonna call on you. Go ahead. I know you always got something good you want to share. And say
Yes,
cool, you'll be
sir.
next, and after that be Kendrick.
I think Dr. Arlene had her hand up
Oh,
first.
Dr. Arlene? Oh, she must have fell off. I saw her earlier. I'm like, I was looking for them hands. I know I saw a hand on there earlier. She must have dropped off. She must be driving or something. So,
I am here, sir.
oh, where?
I don't have my camera on. I am not camera ready.
Oh, I can't even see the button. What is it? You know what?
I came in stealth.
Look, yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Let's see here. maybe it's how Kim got her stuff shut up. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, she not showing non-video participants. I'm like, what? I know I saw it earlier. Now I see your square. Now I see you. All right. So
The missus got me good, huh? She said, if you're not on camera, you're not gonna be seen or
see, nobody
heard.
ain't on camera.
You gotta love her.
Oh, yeah,
She sets her standards, and that's it, period.
no, she ain't showing no non-camera participants on her computer, but hey. All right, so let's go, Dr. Arlene. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go.
Good morning. Good morning. Ready for my Saturday dose? Of course, of course. So my takeaway was from Brandon and the sales process and understanding the sales process. And he said if you're not closing, then you need to go back and look at all the other steps leading to the closing. So if you haven't greeted them properly, if you haven't made your big claim properly, if you haven't followed the sales process, don't expect to close. And what that drove home is, one, go back and study the sales process even more, because if I'm not closing, then I need to go back and look at all the other steps before that to see which step I haven't yet mastered, or which step I skipped, or which step I didn't do right. So that was from Brandon's call. And then I was listening to an audiobook, and the question was, what comes first? Desire, belief, or action? And folks put all the different variations of it, and there were all the different variations of it. And then he said, most people think that they need to believe, desire, then believe, and then act. He said, actually, you need to desire something, act on it, and it will build your belief. That's what I took from this week.
That's good. Now, I actually, matter of fact, after Brandon actually made me go back into, the sales process and just get myself familiar with it again. So I listened to Grant maybe 4 hours, just that process, one day, just going back through the sales process one day. And 1 through 5, 1 through 5, 1 through 5, 1 through 5. And he was just, I'm like, man, it's so much more revealing, when it comes to you going back, looking at something that you haven't, watched in a while, and something you haven't listened to in a while. And I used, when we go to doing presentations, or when we doing trainings, and people have been there for the second, third, or fourth time, and I ask them, how many of y'all heard something, that you didn't hear the first time? And it's always, everybody always raise their hand, and if you don't raise your hand, it's because you didn't listen to it the second time or the third time, because you have to, because it's a different person listening to it the second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. You're more personally developed. You're more aware, right? You're more like you're more interested in the process, right? Your receptors and your filter is now set to pick up the stuff, the good stuff, right? And so, yeah, at first you were just, hearing what the man was saying in the vibrations, but now you're literally feeling what he's saying based on the fact that you're listening. Okay, you're a willing participant, and so now you're picking up stuff you didn't pick up the first time. So it's just like it got good to me, and so I'm just like, hey, all the way through, all the way through. Number one, all the way through, all the way through. Number two, all the way through. Go back to number one, all the way through, and just over and over and over, about 4 or 5 hours that day. Like I'm talking about 4 or 5 hours after it was over with. So go get that book on audio if you guys don't have it. But man, that was some good stuff there. And then, like I said, desire, belief, and action. Desire is the reason that you're doing it. And if you don't take action, it's because you don't believe that you can have it. You don't believe that you're worth it, or you don't believe that that it can that it works, or whatever it is. But the more and more action you take, the more and more belief you build up. And so if you do it every day, think about those of you who do role plays every day. Okay. The more and more role plays you do, you don't even feel, you understand you're getting better, but the more and more role plays you do, you realize, man, the closer and closer you're getting to your goals, to accomplishing your goals. Because at some point in time, like, man, I'm feeling empowered, man. I feel like I can do this, man. I feel like I can accomplish or achieve this. And it's like, you get excited about doing it. Man, you get passionate about doing it. It get good to you. You get the feeling it, and all of a sudden, you can't be stopped, and you're on your way. It's just a matter of time before everything come full circle, and you accomplish that goal. And so, action kills fear, but breathes life into belief. Action kills fear and breathe life into belief. So the more and more action you take, the more fear dies and the more belief grows. You get just think about anything that you want, okay? And it's no different than Dr. Arlene working out in the morning. She wants to be fit, or wants to be wants to look a certain way, or wants to whatever it is. And the more and more she works out, the more and more she believes that she's on her way of accomplishing and achieving it. So it's not just about money, it's about anything and everything. The more and more, I tell my wife I love her, the more and more I buy her flowers, and the more and more I take out on dates, the more and more I do these things, the more and more she believes. But now I'm building her belief. You know what I'm saying? The more and more we date, it's just like the more and more the bigger her belief gets. Right. And so, yep, like you're right, Dr. Arlene, it's still working. So after all these years, it's still working. So I believe in her belief muscle, because I don't know what she believe, but she can't go nowhere. But I got to make sure she believe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no problems. So other than that, good stuff. Desire, belief, and action. But it's again desire, action, and belief. It's the other way around. Ms. Tran, you got it.
Thank you, Mr. Mean. Hello there, Mr. Mean and Foresight fam. First of all, thank you, Mr. Mean. I'm excited because I still have an alarm set for when you used to have your calls every Saturday morning. So now that you're moving it to Saturdays, my alarm is perfect. From all the way from back then, right? Like 6, 7 years ago. And I used to wake up with my Saturdays training and getting better every day. So I'm excited to be going back to that schedule and excited for the information you're about to share. And I should have gone first because Dr. Arlene took on what I was going to talk about. Oh man, the whole thing, she took the whole thing, but it's okay. You gave me a lot of homework, so I got more. But I love it because, you always know what we need, and you are always building upon, our self-development and making sure that no matter where we are in the trenches, that we're gonna grow. Just having access to you and Mrs. Bean, for sure. So thank you for that, and thank you for all you do. So your assignment for me was working on my strengths and looking at the Grant Cardone in a different light, right? In more of a teaching and education role. And I'm gonna touch a little bit on what Miss Arlene said, because I went through the sales process just like you, Mr. Bean, and just watching those videos and realizing that the root of our challenges from our role plays, right, every Saturday, is that most of us don't know the sales process. And so we don't know what piece or recipe we're missing in the sales process to finish it out. And and that was like the biggest aha moment, because when people don't realize where they're at and they don't know where in the process that they are, they can't get better. And that's why people are like selling in the greeting, right? Which he says don't do. They're doing the wrong process, the wrong thing at the wrong time, because they don't know the sales process. And so I was like, ooh, okay. So that's what everybody needs to learn. Number one, like you said, was the sales process. That has to be your strength, right? And then work on your other strengths, and a lot of times, for instance, one of my strengths is objections, right? But in the greeting, you're not dealing with objections in the greeting. And sometimes people are dealing with objections in the greetings versus where they're supposed to be dealt. And the whole thing just collapses, right? Because you're in the wrong part and you're doing the wrong thing. And so it made a big difference just going over the modules again and realizing what it is that people really need to focus on. And you always hit the money, right? You're like sales process, and that's exactly what everybody needs is a sales process. But learning about the objections and making sure that we are, and even Eddie, Kelvin, every single day on those role play, you always see that the same message, right? You are the reason for the objection. So you have to go and self-reflect in your own life and in your own life and see where it is. And it hit me because Eddie was saying about, I'm not that person where you're like, are you doing the dishes later, right? He's like, did you do it at the time, or did you say, oh, I'll do it later? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm like, let me do that later, right? And so now I'm just gonna be like, nope, I gotta do everything right now. So that's why you don't get the sense of urgency, because you're doing the dishes later. So I'm like, nope, Angel, you gotta do dishes now. Whatever it is that that you were supposed to do, like, no, don't say later ever again. That's what I have to share. Thank you, sir.
Take later, or tomorrow or next week, take it out of the vocabulary. It's costing you money. It's costing your deals. And again, people don't know what they hear, but they are emanating. You're teaching people how to push stuff off. You're teaching people you're basically helping people go out of the clothes, literally. And so again, it's just how you do anything is how you do everything. Like, you don't close your cycles like Big Brother Dave talks about all the time, closing your cycle. Well, these people won't close the deal because you won't wash the dishes. You know what I'm saying? You go to your sink right now, how many dishes do you have in your sink right now? And that could have been washed last night, right? And so that's an unclosed cycle. Like this morning, before I ran in here, I'm not a morning guy at all. Trust me. This is early for me. Like, getting up at 7 o'clock to be on here is early. And so, but to get up at 7 o'clock and get everything together and still fix the bed, because that's part of my cycle. I don't get out of bed without, even if Kim is in bed, I'll fix my half of the bed, tuck everything in. And then it's like I'm tucking her in too again. So it's like that's my cycle I gotta do because it's for me. I mean, she takes pleasure in it, but it's for me, and so you gotta close out them cycles. But yeah, just going back to like Brandon was talking about, it's like, you have to be efficient at each phase of your process. If you do one part wrong, you won't be able to transition to the next part. Okay. So master the cycles that you have to close. And also you have to pose a problem in the consumer's mind, and that's the thing. We always talk about that, um, why should they be urgent? You really don't, know what their why is. You really don't know what the problem is, what the challenge is. And if you don't know what it is, ask them to tell you, okay, or help them create one. It's there. It's there. You just have to make sure that you get good at causing them to generate a thought, of pain, that they didn't wake up with. Like you said, that's the thing. You're like, when they're on the phone with you, what is it that they're about to know about that they didn't know about when they woke up this morning that they need to know about? And that and then once they figure it out and they know about it, they won't be able to sleep without it being done. And then they need it in order for it to get done. They have to do business with you. Right. And so that's important. The thought you cause should cause them to close themselves. Like I'm having a conversation with somebody about investments, not too long ago. And basically it's again, a friend, third party person, associate, if you will. And I needed some type of platform that was going to create about, what was the number? It was like create $50,000 a month. And so for me, I'm like, okay, when I'm talking to him about it, and kind of put this thing in perspective for y'all, when I'm talking to him about it, um, I needed to put $10,000 on a credit card. Okay. And so me putting $10,000 on a credit card was, the result that came from the result of me creating a why for myself, or creating a need for myself, or creating a close for myself, because I needed that 50 grand a month. in my mind. I have a reason why I want it. I have a reason why I need it. And that, therefore, it wasn't a whole lot of closing on his side to get me to put $10,000 on a credit card, if you know what I mean. Probably the easiest sale he ever walked into because he ain't had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So I closed myself. He didn't close me. Now he put me in a position where I can be led to be closed. But like I said, once I have enough information, once I process enough information, and once I saw the end to the literally what could be and how I can get to a goal a whole lot faster and a lot more effective, I'm like, okay, American Express, Visa, what y'all take? All right, let's get it done. And before you know it was done, the transaction was over. But because that $10,000 represent the solution to a challenge for me. $10,000, that $10,000 is getting me it's just going to get me $50,000 a month at some point. Okay. And there's a lot in between that's got to happen, but it just kind of give y'all the broke down version, just just putting those version. $50,000 a month solves a problem for me. Can't get it without 10 grand. I have to sign up. I have to enroll. I have to close myself. I need help though. Without the information, I don't get that excited. Without the information, I don't have that belief, without the information they gave me, there's no way I'm giving you a credit card with $10,000. And the credit cards always had the $10,000 on it. You just never had a reason for me to give it to you. And that's the thing y'all have to understand. These people have money and credit cards with money on it. You just didn't present anything to them of value to get it off of the credit card. And so that's the thing. You want to make sure you're leading them by asking questions, right? You'll set the house on fire, and your services is going to be what put the fire out. And everything is burning down. Everything is like, man, and now I gotta have this in order for me to fix this problem. I like when he said that you setting the house on fire by asking questions and getting people to think, and all of a sudden, oh my God, if I don't do this, this is what's going to happen. And boom, I got to do this. And so, them signing up. Let's see here. Huh. Uh, yeah, he had one where he said, learn how to ask backhanded. Well, he didn't, these are my words, but learn how to ask backhanded complimentary questions that get them to say no. Because when a person tells you no, which is what they're programmed to do, they feel like they are in control. They feel like they've won. Right. And so if I say, well, Laura, you ready to give me $25,000, on this credit card today? And I haven't given you information. What you gonna say? No, right? That's okay. And then if I say, okay, let's see here, Laura, you probably make so much money. They have the bank the bank shop up at your house, up at your job to get the check in the truck, right? And she's gonna say, well, being modest, she's gonna say no, even though we know Laura on the block. So we already understand what it is, right? So, but she's gonna say no. But it's no, it's not. It's a positive no, right? And it's like it's a humble no. And so it's like okay, and it's a joking no. And so it's gonna open up some doors, for us to have some conversations. It's gonna open up some opportunities for her to let the wall down and her to come on back in, and giving her different ways of saying no. But those no's represent yes to you. They represent positivity, to you. Lord, does it make any sense for you to not do this today after all the things that you've seen? And she's gonna say, now at this point in time, she's gonna say, no, it wouldn't make any sense for me not to do this. No. And so you start asking questions to help a person close themselves. Because at that point in time, the question that you're asking is leading them to make a decision and leading them to close. And they're saying no and saying no and saying no, and they're feeling good about saying no, but those no's equal yes. Okay. So, guys, that's the only time you really talking to a woman when no really means yes, just for the record. All right. So, all right, let's see here. Yeah, and going back to it, so and this is one of the things it says, once you help them realize that they are in an urgent situation, they will ask you for the next step. What's next? And we've all had that with all the platforms that we've been on, all the training that we've been through. You've always had somebody, not everybody, but it got so good to you at some point, or somebody was so ready, to go ahead and move forward at some point that the question was, all right, so what's next? So what's next? What do we do now? Okay. All right. Let's see here. And people believe what they see, not what they say, not what you say. Yeah. People believe what they see, not what you say. So make sure, that you have something strong. Make sure that you have some social proof on. All right. Let's see here. And guys, like I said, for those of you who are brand new, and those of you who haven't figured it out yet, everybody's excited because this is basically the new millionaire mindset goal. Okay, and so this is where we at every Saturday morning anyway. This is where we're getting fed and where all the juice come in, and this is where all the help comes in at anyway. And so what we're going to be doing, and Angel touched a little bit on it, earlier, like the leaders you see here that are here on a regular basis that's been with us, in our process. On Saturday mornings, they're going to share a nugget, something that you're going to need in a process. Just like Grant Cardone, from time to time, they'll have some of his guys will open up with a small training or a small nugget that they can build on. Same thing with the leaders. They'll be called on a weekly basis. Each one of them different, different weeks will be adding some value along with myself to these calls. So make sure your people are here. And every Monday, again, we used to have millionaire mindset calls. So now it's every first Monday. And we'll be talking about money. Okay. If it's something that I feel like we need, we might insert another Monday just to kind of, make sure y'all get it. But it's going to be Mondays, mobile Mondays, basically once a month. So I'm excited about that. Last Monday we did the millionaire mindset call. We talked about some things, but the Monday before that we did credit. Okay. And so that was pretty hot. A lot of good juice in there, a lot of good flow in there. So let's see here. Kind of give you guys a heads up on that. Let's see here. Now, one of the things I do want to say here, and this kind of when Grant was talking about, in his the process, self process, the thing that I was looking at in number two, determining the wants and needs, guys, and this is like one of those nugget moments here. And this is where you actually fact find, and when I say fact find on the purposes, right? And this is when he starts to talk about getting to know people's buying habits, last purchases, how much, you would get like a person's sales history. When you look at Google, you look at Facebook, look at all these, all these companies out here, they move on data. They know what to sell you based on searches and past purchases. Right. And I don't have to tell you, Laura, how much you paid for this, or I don't have to ask you, what color it was. Everything that you bought is in a search history that the algorithm can find when it comes to shopping. Okay. And so they know exactly what to pitch you, what to sell you, what to send you, what to show you. And so all the difference is now you're on the human side asking people, to help you set that algorithm and help you set what this person's, interests are, what they're willing to spend, what's the most they spent, and just all the things that you really need to know, you just need to ask. Okay. And so he just ran off on a ton of different things. Like what's it like? And y'all always hear me, even before I knew Grant, one of my most important questions was what's most important to you in business. Okay. And so not even knowing that there were other dynamics behind that question, not even knowing that there was a loaded question, right? I was asking that question because I like knowing what's important to a person I'm about to do business with so I can cater to that individual. But when he's talking about, what's important to you on your next purchase, why, what similar experiences have you had? Have you ever had an investment before, right? Have you ever paid for mentorship, coaching program, service? These are some things that I'm throwing in there. How do you like the experience? How did you work? How did it work for you? Or did it not work for you? What did you like best? What did you like least on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you rate that service? How could you make that service a 10? How would you do it again? Would you make that purchase again, or would you buy that service again? How much did you pay for that service? Did you pay for anything outside the initial purchase? what value would you place on a program like that? Would you pay more, or would you pay less for it? What would have made it better? And I'm asking these questions to make sure your bad experiences are, not repeated, and your good experiences are enhanced. And that's kind of one of my little lines. But these are, yeah, so you're just learning how to ask questions. We always talk about the person who asks questions is the person that's in control. And the person who is gathering the intel becomes the most dangerous person in the transaction. And so you can always shift because for me, if I'm in a conversation I really don't want to be in, or I need to have control over, if you ask me a question, I'll answer it with a question. Okay. And so that's how so you get that person, and they have time, they don't know what's going on. And this be salespeople, right? Like a guy called me the other day, and he's got me like every 30 days he calls me, and this is after I tell him you're not to. And so he's calling me like, the day I'm calling you to let you know what I got. So, what did I tell you the last time you called me? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not giving him a chance to offer me anything. I'm asking him a question, and so he said, so I want you to look at your notes. What did I tell you the last time you called me? When did I tell you to call me? Okay. Why did I tell you it wasn't going to be a good time unless you called me at this time? And so, yeah, and so he's like, man, okay, well, I said, I was good. Now don't call me for 90 days. You know what I'm saying? And so now, and so now I backed it up on him, right? And so I punished him for not behaving, right? So I always ask them, I always ask questions, I always ask questions. Get really good at asking questions. Because there's a value. Even it don't even matter. Like even with what Marva does, even though she's not on, she's at work. If Marva's asked these people, how valuable it is for you to know that your people are will get a peace of mind knowing that they're coming in and that they feel secure when they come to church, or they come in and feel secure when they go to the work site. What type of value do you put on, you know, your customers knowing that they can come into a place or an environment and feel safe when they walk in and walk out? What kind of value? And you can just act, and when a person gets, how much would you be willing to pay for that? A peace of mind, knowing that you're working with top flight security, right? You know, when you asking these questions, these are questions that people ain't asking. They're asking you questions like, well, how much the other security company costing you? Irrelevant questions. You making questions about, no, that's just like you, trying to get somebody's girlfriend, and you ask them, so what is he not doing? Tell me what he ain't doing. No, that ain't how this works. Nah, I'm not gonna tell you what he ain't doing, so you can lie to me and tell me you're gonna do it and do it better. No, we ain't gonna do all that. And so just what I'm saying, Carla, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So no, if you need what my other client is doing to help you out, then I'm talking to the wrong person. Okay. You can ask me what's important to me. You can ask me if I like roses, or you can ask me if I like high-end restaurants. You can ask me if I like to go on vacations, on bay trips. You can ask me, what I'm saying, what my outlook is like when it comes to having kids, or if I even want kids. Or you can ask me some questions. How about we start some dialogue that really means something by you asking me some questions? Remember, people get married after dates where they have a really good conversation. People ask really good questions and get really good answers to them. Okay, you might be cute, but you know that without the right questions, and I'm just sitting there looking at you, you looking at me, and you telling me how cute I am. Yeah, this ain't gonna last long. We might enjoy it for a week or two, but I'm not taking you home to my mama or my daddy. Because you don't know how to ask me questions, so I know you're not gonna know how to communicate with them, and they're gonna look at me stupid. That's like, why I bring you home? Right? And so it's the same thing that if we don't ask questions as business owners and we bring it to our people, y'all gonna look at us crazy. Like, y'all didn't vet this company, y'all didn't ask the right questions, y'all didn't, everything parallels, guys, everything. All right, let's see here. Who was it? Was it Seiko?
I believe you said I was on deck, so yes.
Yes, sir. What you want to add this morning, sir?
All right, so I would like to add from The 360-Degree Leader by John Maxwell. And I've been listening over and over to the section on the myths. And I just started listening to the challenges. And the first myth had to deal with the position myth. And for those that are not familiar with John Maxwell, he's a leadership development, expert. And his position myth is talking about how people think they have to have the position of a leader or established leader, such as a supervisor or a CEO, to be able to lead. And the nugget that came out of that to me was that leadership is nothing more than influence. And when you understand that leadership is influence, then that frees you up to be able to lead from wherever you are in an organization. And then the corollary for me was that for Mr. Bean to be successful in what he does, he can't be the only leader in his organization. Leaders have to flow all the way up and down, even from the newest prospect to the most experienced prospect, business partner. And that's what I got from the 360 leaders so far.
Yeah. I'm gonna just tell you, Laura will tell you, I've done a ton of trainings on that chapter. I love that chapter because when you as an individual understand the 5 levels of leadership, like literally, from the bottom where it's positional, where all you have to have is a title to have people follow you, doesn't mean that they respect you. This means they follow you. Based on your title. They have to. If they don't, they get fired, right? Or something bad happens, Um, you didn't earn that from a standpoint of me working with you. This is my first day on the job. We have no history. You've done nothing, to earn, me as a follower. You've done nothing to say to put yourself in a position, that you would be my leader. You're my manager based on position, or you're my supervisor based on position, right? And that's the only way that you can give me or you can give me an order, or you can give me directions or instructions, all the way up to the top, of the chart, where now it has nothing to do with production. It has nothing to do with influence. It has nothing to do with it. Like you, at that point in time, you're in a position where everybody, the majority of the people walking the face of the earth, they just knew you. They looked up to you, right? And so this just knowing those 5 different, you got to go, and I'm not going to steal it from you and go through all that. But the 5 levels of leadership, those 5 myths, guys, go back and look at that on your own time, because you can start to identify who you're dealing with. There's some people who they're going to be a leader just because they go out there and outproduce everybody. Like some of you will go to Grant Cardone's rally calls every day because they have leaders on those calls every day, role playing. And I'm not even just talking about Eddie and the rest of those guys. I'm talking about the people who are leading just by role playing, by being courageous, right? You got some production-based leadership. Those type people, they got big numbers. They going crazy. It's like Eddie come on with his numbers. He come on with his stats. Eddie, if you're gonna be led by somebody's stats, Eddie the guy. He the guy, right? But anybody, guys, anybody, anybody can take a position or a title, and hide behind it, but you can't hide longer. When people are ready for leadership and they've outgrown your leadership, there's some people who were beneath you, and when you with your title, but because you didn't grow, to the next level of leadership, of influence or production and stuff like that, the people who were beneath you, who were up for employment, who were up for promotion, some of those people have leapfrogged people who were at that position based on the fact that now you're not only capable of leading people, you're actually capable of leading the person who was the leader by position. You see that a lot, like in NFL football. You see, like, you have some young coaches, 30 years old, 32, they're getting younger. They're coaching as, like, let's say defensive coordinators or head coaches. And their sub coaches, their position coaches are 45, 50, 55, 60, right? And it's because this younger person they bring more value to the position from a leadership perspective. That person's well studied. That person's got the results. right? That person's got the production. You know, they offense put up this amount of numbers. This they offense ran this many touchdowns or whatever it is. They got the production. They got everything you need, and it's all the proof is right there on the resume. But they 35 years old, right? And real organizations don't care anything about age. They care everything about the end result. So they'll bring the younger guy in, and they'll keep the older people on staff, because they have value that they're bringing in. But some of the older people be salty. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what did you do with your time when you had it? What did you do with your moment when you had it? What type of leader was you had? Were you when you were you just a person who was just happy to be the defensive coordinator? And that's now at that point in time, because you got the position, you didn't go out there and continue to study, continue to evolve, continue to focus on results, continue to get the sacks and interceptions, continue to keep another team from scoring. You just got happy because you're the coordinator, you're the coach, you're the coach. Okay, so that's some good stuff, Sekou. That's some good stuff. I love that. I love that chapter. I would suggest everybody to go out there and check that out. It's on YouTube. You can get it for free if you don't have the book. Okay, but go get it. Go watch it. Mr. Phil Part, what you have for us today? What you want to contribute?
All right. Happy Saturday, everybody. I'm happy and grateful to be here on the Crash Camp call today. My first takeaway came from the Millionaire Mindset call. Just appreciation for, of course, the integrity that you do have, Mr. Bean, and your leadership. The thing that stuck out with me, what you said was, I know that we're in our state of rebuilding. You talk about rebuilding, the group's confidence and also the number of people in the group and things like that. And what stuck out with me was when you said that even though times like these, things like numbers start dwindling, you said these are times when people need the leadership, need the community, and need the environment the most. So that's what really stuck out with me, and doing my part to, like you said, self-improve, go back and look at what ways that we can improve ourselves. And whenever I think about that, the thing that comes to mind is from an old school networker was named Mr. Harvey McKay. And what he would say is, Harvey McKay, he would say, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And that's one thing that I heard him say a lot of times, and it always stuck with me. And so I just wanted to put that out there, just let everybody know that we all have some places and areas that we can improve. And I'm thankful for this opportunity, and also the Cardone program and everything, for the chance to be able to, cross the T's and dot the I's in my own personal growth and development. Also this week, took away from just the rally calls, some notes that I had wrote down was, I know we always say the person who asks the questions is in control, and I understand that. But to bring it full circle, I don't know who exactly said it, but he also said on the other side of that, you're the person who asks the questions is in control, but it also takes the actual getting answers to the questions that you ask. You can't just be out here asking questions and thinking that you lead the conversation when you're not getting accurate, adequate answers. A lot of times you hear them talking, especially Big Brother Dave, he'll ask people when they're doing role play. He's like, so how do you think the communication and conversation is going so far? You just got to make sure that you're in constant connection and communication with the people at all times. So yeah, you ask the questions, you have some sort of control, but you also make sure that you're getting the answers to the questions. That really stuck me. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got for this week. We touched on a lot of different things. Yeah, those things what stuck out this week for me.
That's all right, and that's good. Like I said, because the thing about it is the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I reiterated it. You should be like a tree. You should always be growing. You should, like I said, as long as you're alive, you should always be growing. And that's improvement. For me, I'm a personal development junkie. I'm like, and it's just not, just personal development, period. It's like specific personal development. when I have a challenge and I can get better at it and I can find a solution for it, that's how I get my fix. That's what gets me, and that's what I get trapped in, right? And so I already have an addictive personality. So for me, it's like I'm going to but when I wrap my mind around something, I go like I'm all in on something. It's hard to distract me. It's hard to pull me out of it. There's no different than me binge. Like last night, y'all don't know this, but I went to sleep at 5:15 this morning because I started binge watching something that I shouldn't have. And I knew for a fact that once I got started, Kim said it's gonna be a Netflix night, and I know what that means. She's gonna watch one show and go to sleep. And I'm gonna be stuck with the bill. And the bill is me staying up for 7 or 8 shows or 9 shows, and it's gonna be 5 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta get up at 7. And I know this, but it's nothing I can do. It's the same thing with personal development. I'm literally right around listening to something that's gonna help me in my marriage, or help me with my money, or help me with my kids. And I stay there and I sit there. So I'm always bringing in value internally, right? But I'm falling in love with it, but I'm also using that same value to teach so now, it's becoming a part of me. That's not enemy, now it's becoming a part of me because now I'm teaching it and now I'm blessing people with it. Now and now because remember, you can't teach what you can't teach what you don't know. You can't teach what you ain't, you can't teach what you don't know. Can't teach nobody how to win, you're always losing. Okay. And so you got to have the information, but you also have to have, the accreditation. You got to have the information, but you also got to have the results. You got to have a resume. Okay. So, but get it in you first. Get it in you first. Also, clear, concise conversation, clear, concise communication, right? Getting people to really answer the question. Don't let people beat around the bush and skirt the issue, and you be right there in the mix of it, asking the question, and you looking right at them, and they did not answer the question. They dancing all around it. And you just bring it right back to them. Yeah, Ken, that's cool. But then that's what Kendrick, but you still gotta answer a question, huh? Yeah, you still gotta answer a question. So tell me, what's the answer? And bring it back to him, bring it back around full circle. That you didn't answer the question. Like I literally hung up on a Zoom yesterday where I was on a Zoom with a young lady and 3 people, and it was on a business deal in the solar industry. And so they brought on their so-called expert. I asked one question because I needed one answer. I had 8 questions. When I asked that one question, he he was so in love with hearing himself talk that he was already talking before I finished asking the question. And so he could never answer it. And he didn't read the room because everybody in the room was asking him, hey, hold on, let him finish the question, or hold on, that's not what he was asking. Hold on. And he's giving his perspective, he's giving his insight, he's giving his wisdom and his knowledge and the next thing you know, he wasted about 35 minutes of the call. Yeah. And so he frustrated everybody on the call based on the fact that he didn't answer the question. Okay, and couldn't answer the question. So I asked the question again, finally, and he still could. Other people had to answer the question for him because he was so fixated on the answer that he wanted to give me, except for the answer that I asked for. And I told him, I said, guys, this is a no for me. This is a hard no for me, based on the fact that I see right now the communication within y'all is dysfunctional. I said, y'all not even listening to you. I said, he's not listening in any of y'all, and that's not even his call. He was invited on here by y'all to give some expert answers. And I'm saying this, I'm just like, look, like y'all don't want to do business with me. I can't do business with y'all in this environment because y'all are already showing me what I got to deal with when I do business with you. And everybody agreed with me except for the dude who wouldn't listen. So he cost them a ton of money because when I don't do business with you, right? Somebody losing money, and it ain't me. Right? And so you got to put yourself in a situation where if you take yourself out of the equation, that somebody's about to lose something really, really big, and they felt it, like literally they felt it. Text messages, phone calls, after it was over with, hey man, that wasn't us. We didn't even know this guy was gonna be on here. They brought this guy on here. I don't even know this guy. And I'm like, they automatically went to just damage control. Okay. But he wasn't reading the room as a person who was brought on as an expert, wasn't reading the room, horrible communication skills, didn't listen, then got upset when people were trying to correct him, and so it became a thing. I'm like, yeah, I don't do toxicity, guys. I'm sorry. I don't do dysfunctional, guys. I'm sorry. I'm too systematic. And so another thing is this, he made a comment because he was in his feeling about network marketing. And he says, well, guys, we got to get out of this network marketing mind frame. I said, hey, let me stop you for a second. I said, one, I'm not a network marketer. I hadn't did network marketing in almost 3 years, be 3 years in October. I said, but even when I was in network marketing, I was a business person who used network marketing as a platform to make millions of dollars. So you're not talking to a network marketer. I'm talking to a businessman that asked one simple question who couldn't get an answer by you. Okay. So let's not get in our emotions and let's call it what it is. I asked a question about this, and then, like your partner said, you went on a tangent for 30 minutes. You hijacked the call. I said, you cost your people money. I said, I have a Zoom. And I didn't have no Zoom to go to. I was like, I got a Zoom in 5 minutes. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. If y'all want to do business with me next time, only bring on the people who I need to talk to and people who I asked to talk to. Don't bring on any extra people. And then I jumped up and going back. I told everybody it's a pleasure talking to him. I even told him, thank you for your time. Okay. So I'm gonna be me. You can't beat me because I'm gonna be me. I already know what to expect. So you gotta set that tone. That confidence, guys, is not arrogance, it's confidence. You are a professional. Okay. Nothing should be able to come not saying you shouldn't have any emotion on anything, but nobody should see it. Not saying you shouldn't have fear or you shouldn't experience anger, or you shouldn't experience resentment. You should experience all of that. Okay. But nobody should know that you're experiencing it until you tell them. They should be able to see it. And then when you experience it, it shouldn't be a long experience. It shouldn't take that long. Okay. So, but that's good stuff, Ken. That's good stuff, man. Let's see here. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything or leave anything out. Yeah. But like I said, like you said, communication, being in connection, making sure people hold people's feet to the fire. Okay. So Angel, when you said that you needed to make $15,000 a month to do this for your daughters and your son, and to make sure you take the rest of your life off and now give you some more time to work on things to get you to that $1 million a year situation. Were you just playing with me, Angel, or was you serious?
No, sir, absolutely serious.
Okay, so Angel, but you not doing what I asked you to do. Are you not answering this question that's going to allow me to help you out? Do you think that's getting you closer to your goal or further away from it?
Further.
Okay. So Angel, at this point in time, from a person who has made the type of money that you make, do you think it'd make more sense for you to follow my instructions and take my advice as opposed to listening to your own?
Absolutely listening to your advice, sir.
All these questions I'm asking her, these are questions that I'm asking her that she has to give me a specific answer. She can't give me an answer other than what I want her to give me. Okay? Otherwise, she discredits herself. So you got to put people in a position where they discredit themselves or they validate themselves with your questions. People who have common sense will answer the question right unless they just trying to shuck you. Okay. And then that's the question. At the end of the day, Laura, we've been on this phone 45 minutes. And you told me at the beginning of this call, this is what you want, and I've given you every opportunity to satisfy that need. Okay. And what's happening is this. The reasons the thing that you're doing is leading me to say that you either one, don't believe in what I'm offering you, two, don't think that you can do it, or three, you can't afford it, Laura. Which one is it? And so you have to give me something. I'm gonna start narrowing some stuff down. Okay. Okay, Laura, if none of those are the problem, are you just shucking me? Are you really serious about what you were talking about? You trying to get rid of me, Laura? Or you just,
No,
because
I'm
it's
really serious. I'm really serious.
okay, all right. I just want to make sure I'm talking to the right person here. Because, Laura, if nothing else, I want you to understand your time is important to me. Okay. Getting the result for you is important for me. You know why, Laura? It's not about the money that you make me on this deal, Laura. It's about you going to tell everybody that I helped you, Laura. Laura, I have made a life for myself by helping people, and my money comes from referrals. I don't help you. You don't talk about me. Okay. If I mess this up, you talk about me. Either way it goes, I'm gonna get some good press or some bad press. But Laura, I need you to help me with referrals. So I need to get you the best price. I need to get you the best result. I need to make sure that everything you ask for, I satisfy. Okay. So again, how can you if you serious, how can you tell me no?
Hello, John. This is Lowell Brown. I was calling you to confirm that I can drop off my microwave today at 2 p.m. I mean 12 p.m.
Uh-oh. Sekou, you gotta mute. Sekou, you
Got
gotta
it. I
mute.
got it. I got it. Sekou said I need that microwave, man. Super Bowl Sunday coming up. So so all right. So there we have it, guys. I mean, but this is the good stuff. You gotta again, you have to put pressure on people. Right? Put pressure on people. Right? And remember, you can't put pressure on people if you don't know their why, if you don't ask those questions. Get really good at going back go back into that sales process and listen to those questions, write those questions down, and then when you go back to those questions, create questions that are on the same on the same type of question. Is just cater those questions to your field. Cater those questions to what you do, and for me, because I'm loving the fact that at some point in time, we're gonna be on here on Saturdays and people gonna be literally doing role plays for what they sell at their job or what they sell in their own companies and businesses. And it's going to be a huge mixture of stuff, just like Grant Cardone's situation. Right? And so that's when we'll be cooking. So, but that's good stuff, Kendrick. All right. So my word to the wise for you guys today is make sure that you guys are going back and listening to that sales process, mastering that sales process. Okay. For me, that PS5 again was just my sales process, made easy. A lot of the steps are cut out. It's only, remember, PS5, 1, 2, 5. It's only 5 steps, and that takes you from the set to the close. Think about this, 7 steps total from the set to the close. It's not 7 for the set or 7 for the close. That's how we compress this thing all the way down to where you can have a full wire-to-wire transaction. You're manageable. Like, if you have too many steps, you create too many problems. You have too many opportunities to mess up. Right? It's like when people have index cards that they read from. So when people have index cards that they read from, if your index cards has sentences, right? Oh, it's gonna be a long day for you. And if your index cards have bullet points that you can elaborate on, oh, it's gonna be easy peasy. It's gonna be a cakewalk, right? And so, because I've been on stage and I've had, as a matter of fact, it's a photo on me, and I intentionally have in the photo a little green piece of paper that I have folded up, and it had my bullet points on it. 1, okay, that's one. One I'm talking about, and now I can just talk about it. Now I can just elaborate about it because I'm a professional, I'm an expert in my industry, and boom, I know this like the back of my hand. 2, boom. 3, boom. I'm looking down one time, and I'm back at it, right? But if I have to read, that's going to be a problem. You can't read and do a presentation. You can't read and do a training. You can't read and do make a sale, right? So you got to make sure everything is simple to yourself. You got to help yourself. The script is not for them. The script is for you. Remember that. Put yourself in a protected status. Put yourself in a position where the experience that you're about to have with that script is an enjoyable one. Right? Make sure that script that you're about to use, that you're creating, and all of, like Grant says, he's taking all the unnecessary steps out of it. The less steps you have in something, the more effective you can actually be in your sales process. Remember, if you have 7 steps, let's say you have 7, okay, but you can get it down to 3. You can literally spend more time on the 3 and get more value out of the 3. and close in 3 instead of taking all 7. It's like the form technique that we talk about meeting people. FORM, family, occupation, recreation, and a message. You can do that in any order, right? As long as you know what those things stand for and how to use those things, you can do it in any order. And you can do it without as well. I don't have to know, what your occupation is, if I'm prospecting you. I can hit you with the F, family, friends, first name, familiar, first 5, say your first name 5 times. I'm hitting you with the F, and because I'm elaborating on that. I can spend some time on that step, the building rapport step, first 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what? I can go to occupation, or I can go to recreation. Hey, I'm in town for business, whatever. What can I do to let my hair down? Right? And then they get to joking because I have no hair. So we laugh, and that's a little bit of entertainment. I'll talk about their football team, whatever it is. It's recreational. And then, on the way out, I hit them with a message, but I didn't do occupation. Or I hit them with occupation, no recreation, because it's of timing, or it might not be in that person's personality to want to joke with me at that moment, or the environment won't. It just doesn't set it up for any entertainment. So let me just go ahead and get it in. Occupation. You look like you own something. What do you do for a living? If you don't mind me asking. Okay. A message, man. I deal with people like you on a regular basis. You have any room in your portfolio for referrals? I have no problem referring people to good people. You know, no agenda. Don't need you to pay me. But whatever it is, just know your process. Be mastering the bullet points in that process. So P is peak interest, master peaking interest. Okay. Big claim and all. Right. S is sharing the plan. Make sure you show it in an effective manner. Share the product in an effective manner. My wife still make a killing off coffee. Like my wife got a client yesterday. She came to me, I got a lady on auto ship, and lady ain't even on auto ship, like with the company. Ladies, she got my wife on the auto ship. She sent her a ton of money every month, once a month on the 5th. And my wife shipped it directly to her as if this is the wholesale office. But it's just my wife called her and she saw the problem. Mix X, Y, and Z. How would you like for me to just send you your product once a month? We know you're gonna drink these 5 boxes. Okay. We do this every month. You have to call me, then I have to get it ready. How about I just do this? How about you just have it automatically sent to me on the 1st of every month, and I have your product to you every on the 5th of every by the 5th of every month. No problem. Great. Auto ship. Solve the problem. Okay. And so, but this is some stuff, just some stuff. So anybody else want to add anything else before we move forward into the role playing? Or anybody have any questions? Did anybody have any questions about the closing process or anything? Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go over here. So you got just going over the 5 things: greeting, as we talk about the determining the wants and needs. 3, selecting the product and present the value. Number 4, make the proposal, and number 5, close the deal and exit, basically. And so if y'all have any questions on any of those things, let me know. But the things that you do need to know about your prospect, guys, these are some things you need to know about your prospect. Okay. Who are you? Okay. Who is that person? What does that person want? All right. What do I have? What do I have that will fulfill that need? How do I present it in a manner where it makes sense? How do I make an offer to you that can be funded by either you or others, or a combination of both? Every high ticket program out there, guys, has a payment structure that will allow for flexibility. They lose no deals. Okay. If they got a $10,000 thing, they're gonna get that $10,000, right? They might get it in 4 payments, or they might get it in 10 payments, $250 a month, or whatever it is, for 40 months, or whatever it is. But they're gonna get that 10,000. Oh yeah, we'll chop it up. I can do all 3 different credit cards. It don't matter. You can put 2,000 on one, 4,000 on one, 4,000 on another. Or we can put 2,000 on one credit card, $4,000 on another credit card, and we can you can give me $500 a month for the next 8 months. It's again flexibility. Okay, how do I close, deliver, and follow up, right? With the hopes that we can repeat that process. You want to do it so good, right? And the follow-up is so on point. You service that person so well that they will always do business with you, even if they got to come find you. Because some people are transactional. Remember, I'm residual, even with my transactions. I might serve a purpose once, and you buy the product based on your need of the product, or I serve I serve you for a lifetime based on the service I provide, regardless of the product. So you can't buy from me, but I come with the package. If I gave you a price for me, you probably couldn't afford it. But I'm going to throw me in the deal to sweeten the pot. I'm an add-on. Yeah, I'm an add-on. I'm extra, right? So yeah. Yeah, for $40,000, you know what I'm saying? You can get me, but for the day and day only, you come on board, you'll have access to me without the $40,000. Okay? Just because you're a part of our group. But those are the things that guys, like literally, and he talked about the process. You got a lot of shady sales teams out there and companies out there that their sales process is such that you can't advertise or market it, right? When you have a sales process that's transparent, is full of integrity, and people all you want, and that people can see in your sales process that all you want to do is help somebody. All you want to do is get them the best price. All you want to do is get them exactly what they asked for, where it's a win-win situation for everybody. And they know for a fact that you've been treated better in this situation than you probably would have in any other situation. And you can market that, and you can sell that. That's when you know you have a great sales process. Okay. So those are some things that you need to know about your prospects and about your process. Let's see here. Question. All right. What are the principles that guide developing the big claim? Okay. So when you look at the big claim, guys, and boy, again, you can create a big claim for anything. And big claims, we've been given big claims, our whole entire life for a whole lot of different things. But when you give a big claim, it should definitely be something that satisfies a need, but satisfies a need in a way to where a person they like, you know what? It appears to be too good to be true. You know what I'm saying? And that's that big. It gets their attention. Like they said, we increase revenue by 40% in our first 90 days of doing business with us, or we increase your lead spend or your lead returns or lead production by 60% in your first 30 days based on our system, or whatever it is. You got to give a person a really good number, a really nice size number, okay, and collapse time frames and doing it within that big claim, because if I say Carla, I can actually help you double the amount of returns that you're getting right now in your company, and I can do it in 90 days versus Carla, I can take your company's been around for 10 years. Carla, within the next 12 months, I can help you double the amount of return and revenue that you have, in your company. Okay. And so I said the same thing. I just gave you 2 time windows, but that 3-month time window is a whole lot sexier than the 12-month. Both are appealing, but one is like the sizzle on the steak. That one is gonna like, man, that's the one you're gonna be attracted to. That one is gonna be the one, you just now it's something you gotta figure out if this is real. Can he really do that? Can they really? Oh yeah, Carl, let me show you. This is how we're able to do this. This is how we were able to do this for other people. Because now I got your attention. And so now it's on me, to make sure that you see the value. And I'm going to show you social proof, and I'm going to add you to. So, Carla, let me ask you a question. When it comes to the training that your people do, do they train every day, once a week? Do y'all train as a team, or do y'all train individually? And so now I'm asking questions about your company, right? And so, okay, Carl, now I see. Okay, I got that information. Okay, so let me ask you this, Carl. If we install this system into your group, do you think your people will use it? Well, Carl, you don't think they'll use it? You're the boss, right? Yeah, okay. Well, you don't think you can get your people to use it? Well, I mean, yeah, if I say use, they'll use it. Okay. So now remember, I'm asking questions and I'm leading based on her answer. And so, okay, perfect. So Carla, how much is the deal? How much is the transaction worth to you? Okay, so for each one of those people who you get, each one of these companies that you get to now start offering your intern service, you know, how much, is one of those transactions or having one of them come on board? How much does that mean to you? Yeah, and now, well, I don't know. Well, if you did know,
Mhm.
how much would it be? So now because if you don't know, and this thing, sometimes some people, less than 10% of people know, and then even then they don't want to tell you because they're embarrassed about the value, right? But even if you did know, Carla, what would it mean? What would be the value to it? What would be the return, short term, long term on that? Okay. And so I'm gonna keep on asking questions because I'm gonna keep on. I'm getting all this intel, and I'm because all I'm doing is I am going to go back and use 100% of everything you're giving me right now to qualify the amount, of money that I'm about to charge you, that I told you I was going to charge you up front, and to justify my claim on what I'm going to be able to do for you in 90 days that other people that you had been able to do over the last 5 years.
Mhm.
Okay. So the big claim has to be big, has to be audacious, has to be something that you're willing to work to accomplish. And it's so big that, if you did half of it, got half the results, um, they wouldn't be mad because those are results that they were not getting before you. Okay. And so, but yeah, when it comes to that big claim though, the big claim it has to be big. Okay. It has to have a time associated with it. And you want to have some semblance of understanding on how to articulate how to get a person there. You want to have some social proof, and that it can actually happen because you're in the industry, whether it happened in your company or not, you're in an industry that has been done before by somebody. And if it's been done before by somebody, then it can be done. You didn't say you did it. This is what I'm gonna do for you. This is my big claim. This is what I'm gonna do for you. And this is a process. This is how it's going to be done. This is how we're going to arrive at that number by this date and X, Y, and Z. And Carla, you know, um, let's just say here's one of those no questions. Let's say, Carla, if we didn't double it, in 90 days, and it took us 120 days to double it, would you be mad?
No.
No. Right. So again, that's a no question. Right. And so it's one of those questions where she feels good about, man, well, at least he being upfront and honest with me. At least he being transparent with me. Yeah, I may not get it in 90 days, but he gave me his furthest update, which is what she's saying to herself, which is 120 days. And if I do my part and I get my people to plug in to the system or whatever, and boom, I can do X, Y, and Z. And that's all they do. But you got to have your big claim. That big claim has to be attached to that person's why. It has to. Like with Grant Cardone, like the fact that he was using everything that I would be teaching my people on me, and I knew what he was doing the whole entire time he was doing it. And I took pleasure in it being done to me because finally somebody is actually selling me something that they not only believe in, they're actually a product of the product. He's He's selling me him, right? He literally sold me him. Mr. Grant was on that thing, and he didn't. Even when I say, you know what, and I'm messing with him. I'm messing with him. I'm saying, hey, you know what, my wife, I need to get my wife on the phone. He said, well, get on the phone. So yeah, I talk about. I said, no, get on the phone. I said, can you call her? I said, yeah. Let me call her real quick. And I put him on. I put him on mute. He's sitting there on camera looking at me. I'm talking to myself, and I'm laughing. I'm talking to myself, and I'm just having a good time with him. I'm like, you know what? What other objections can I give this dude? You know, and I'm literally having. I'm like, I want to see how good this dude really is. You know, and I'm already bought. I know I'm already signed up. Now I'm just trying to figure out how much I'm willing to give him. Because when he started telling me the price, yeah, this is how much it is, this is how much it is, and this is how much for all these people that you want to bring on board. For this many people, you got 20 people or 25 people you want to have modules for. This package is $25,000. Boom, boom, boom. I said, well, yeah, I'm not gonna do that one. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that one. I'm not. But if you can do this, right? I'll do business with you. If you can do that, I'll do business with you. Because at this point in time, I already know you can do anything that I ask you to do. The biggest thing the thing that cost me money in that transaction is that I didn't think small enough. Messed y'all up. I should have asked for a whole lot less. I could have got a whole lot more by asking for a whole lot less. Because remember, it's a automated system. There's no maintenance required. You don't have to pay anybody by the hour to service me, right? Everything is already in place. Who you paying to work with me and my 25 people? Nobody. The rally call is already in place. There's no extra income coming. So 100% of what you're getting out of me is profit. I didn't think small enough. I got them for some money. Trust me. I saved what they would. Trust me, and they started me high. As always, like I knew they was gonna do, but I got them lower than what they thought they was gonna get. But I didn't ask for low enough. Could have got it. And I even threatened them. Look, I'm gonna tell you, I went back in and renegotiated after 2 years. Right. And I said, well, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and need y'all to stop this, cut this down. And and he said, well, we can't do that. I said, well, this is what we're gonna do then. I said, well, I'm not on the contract at this point. I got 12 more months left. No, I'm sorry, I'm not on the contract at this point. I can just get out of the system and come back in. I can just quit. And I told Alex, I can just quit. And then I'll call back in. Somebody's gonna set an appointment, and I'm gonna get somebody else on the phone, and I'm gonna get them to give me half of what you. So I forced him to renegotiate and change my terms. Because again, you're about to lose a client for a moment as a company, but you're about to lose a client forever. Because if you don't go to bat for me right now and change this up right now, I'm quitting and I'm coming back in. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I told him what I was going to do because I understand the sales flow. I understand how this works. Once you understand how it works, you are in control. You just have to be a man or woman enough to tell a person what you know that they don't understand that you know. So negotiations, guys. I'm gonna tell you one of the things, if you are going to really excel in life and sales and in people, start looking and listening to stuff on negotiations. Okay. Even with people who have hostage negotiation, it's not about that they trying to get somebody out the building alive. Is they trying to get somebody to open up and negotiate, be flexible, change their mind, change their stance, change their philosophies on certain things, change you want them to question their reasoning. You want to put a person in a position where now you get them to come to your side of the table after you've already jumped over the fence on their side. And so now you jump over the fence on their side, then you walk them back over to your side. Okay. And so negotiations. I don't care what you do for a living. Everybody. If you work with more than just you, and you do business with more than just you, start listening to some negotiation stuff. Okay. So, Angel, I ain't leave you much, but you got 30 minutes. So, and y'all want to do some role playing and everything, guys, y'all can. If y'all have some Q&A, again, light it up. But yeah, again, I'm excited about what's going on. And any other questions before I get out of here? I know Laura had that question. Any other questions that I have before we got Marva? Come on, Marva. And Carla, I got you. I got you too.
Okay, so you had said something about a book, and I missed that because I was out of the car, but I heard you. Something about a book when you were talking about the form system, like
No, well, the form technique
family,
wasn't a book.
occupations.
The form technique was a process, but that's just that was a process. When we talk about prospecting, and the form, it was a technique that I trained on, but that wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
book. We talked about. I know we talked about John C. Maxwell and a book that Sekou brought up, and he talked about the 5 myths within that book of John C. Maxwell. Talked about the myth of leadership, and so
Okay.
that was the John C. Maxwell book, but as far as like the form technique, we have several different trainings out there that tell you how to actually communicate with people that you don't know, how to prospect people, how to introduce yourself to people who you don't know, and just kind of build that connection. So at some point in
Mm-hmm.
time, you either make a friend, you actually make create a business relationship. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because most people, just like I said, when you look at the and this is like even with the conversation they had with you when they say, hey, look, we need to get you over here to the church, and be a part of our staff full time or whatever. And the person opens it up, and when you hit them with the form technique, and F, real quick, I might as well just go ahead and go into this a little bit since this stuff y'all need anyway. The form technique, F, family and friends, right? These are F's. These are things this is how you remember stuff, bullet point wise, without having to just memorize everything verbatim. Say a person's name, their first name, F, 5 times, because you don't want to ever remember or forget their name, right? First 30 seconds, first being F, that's how you establish rapport, right? And so you normally establish rapport with compliments and things like that. Like he literally led in with a compliment, which opened the door for you, to come back and start a conversation.
Right.
I love to. What I'm saying? At the end of the day, business is business. And, I'd rather have more stable clients than I would, pickup clients or however, whatever you call, this, what I'm saying? So, um, but let me ask you this, then you start asking questions, about, F can be family. So your family, your congregation, how big is your congregation? Okay. All right. And how many services do you have? Okay. So now you're trying to figure out how much time you get to bill them for. 1 service, 2 services, 3 services. How many services do you have? Hey, how
So
many
this is
calls you have?
for excuse me. So this is for the funeral home.
Yeah. Oh, for the funeral. Okay. So is this?
So
But
yeah, they want.
I think about just the church. So now, but it's just different questions though. Like I said, so it's
Mhm.
like, do you have somebody? Okay, so now do you always, just call somebody at the spare of the moment? Or you have somebody, that's committed to you contractually? That's your priority, primary people. How are you set up when it comes to your processions or what? It's always quick because when they open it up, again, you just have to have your questions ready. Because a person who opened it up to have a conversation with you, they've given you the green light to have a conversation with them. Now the awkwardness is gone.
Right.
Okay, because the biggest thing is starting a conversation. But if somebody else started, you're good to go. That's
So I'm
why
gonna need these questions ready for Monday or
exactly.
Tuesday when I call them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah.
when you call them, that's when you want to be set. You got to be ready. And because I'm gonna tell you, like, look, when I was in the military, we used to go to at that time I was 19, 20, 21. So I was in um the military in 2 places, Colorado and then Georgia. So when I'm stationed in Georgia, everything around me was spring break. When it was spring break, FAMU, Daytona Beach, everything, North Carolina Beach, Myrtle Beach. So for me, I mastered the art of making you ask me a question or making you talk to me, or whatever it was. I'm like, I'm gonna just tell you, Laura, this is what I used to do, Laura. And for some of you single guys, let me just share this. I'm gonna share this one nugget with y'all. So
Yeah.
one of my stop Marvin. So this is what I used to do, right? Because see, I know it's like I'm not the tallest guy, right? Okay, and then I might not be the most attractive guy. So I got to figure out, how do I get the advantage? Right. And so that when you can get a conversation, you got to end. Right. And so what I used to do, Marva, is I used to go and I would actually rent. I would find out if they had pet shops that would allow you to rent puppies. So when they had all these spring break events, I would go rent a puppy for a weekend. And I would, oh yeah. And they stop and talk to the dog. And guess what? You gotta stop and talk to the owner too. So you just can't talk to the dog. He cute. You want to take a picture with him? Oh, you gotta take a picture with us. What I'm saying? So it's like it's the dog, we're a package. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make sure you talk. I'm gonna find a way for you to talk to me, right? So we can have a conversation without me having to say, hey, you, and sound like every other guy on the beach, right? I'm gonna stand out. And it's always the cutest puppy, always a non-aggressive puppy, always fluffy, furry, and this big, right? And so that's again, you have to put people in a position where they want to engage with you. They have to engage with you, right? So I'm not gonna give you all my tips, what I'm saying? Guys, I do classes for all y'all single guys. I do classes for $9.95 a month, residual subscription. I'll hook y'all up. What I'm saying? I'll take care of y'all. Have y'all good married, what I'm saying, to the right woman and everything. But the right woman, that's a whole nother package. That's not $39.95 a month on top. The right woman is $5,000 one time, $39.95 a month. That $39.95 a month is a subscription to keep you married. You know what I'm saying? I'm just help hooking y'all up. Just, what I'm saying? I normally charge $50,000 for that, Laura, but I'm gonna take $5,000 down. All right, $39.95 a month. So, but engage those questions, Marva. Again, when you start asking these questions that you have designed specifically for these funeral homes, and they've never heard these questions before, and all these questions force them to think and force them to want to do business with you, that's when you know you got it. And it only gets better from there, because when you start seeing that flow work and it start becoming a part of you, and then all of a sudden nobody can tell you no because nobody can tell me no, that's when you've made your own magic.
So, is this call recorded? Are we going to be able to access this call again so I can write down all the notes?
It's on Facebook. It's in a Facebook group. The L Green
Okay.
Facebook. Yep.
Okay. All
That's
right.
all recorded. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
And by the way, guys, no puppies were harmed in those events on the beach weekends, just so that y'all know. They made it back to the rental shops unharmed. All right, Carla.
Actually, I wanted to attempt a role play with my with adjusting the PS5 to what I got going on this month.
All right, who you want to do it with?
Let's see. I'll do it with Miss Laura.
All right.
Okay.
That's my cue. I'm gonna turn it over to you. Bye, guys. Y'all have a good one. I'll still be listening in, but hey, make this weekend a great one.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Bean.
Thank you. Let me clean my glasses that quick.
All right. While you're getting ready, thank you so much, Mr. Bean, for that. I mean, it's been a perfect crash camp. We got so much nuggets. Not only that, we got Mr. Bean's new income stream, for real, some people, not to mention the men, but I think some wives might want to register their husbands for that course, Mr. Bean. So think about
Absolutely.
that. Oh my goodness. I am literally laughing with
Angel,
tears over here, guys. So
for another $999.95, I'll teach them how to write poetry.
There you go.
Woo,
Wow.
2024 is gonna be a great year for some marriages. If you
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Get the puppy. Oh my God.
Yes. Great
Okay.
stuff. So we got some great tips here, not just in self-development, but in everything on Crash Camp today. All right, ladies.
Absolutely.
So what are we
Okay.
doing, Miss Carla?
Okay, so on the 22nd of February.
Oh, for you accidentally muted.
Carla, you're muted.
don't think she can hear us either. Maybe you might want to text her.
Okay, I'll send her a quick text, and if you want to go on.
Sure,
Oh,
absolutely.
I'm sorry,
there you
my
go.
audio went out.
Okay. No worries.
Carla, you were muted, so we
What
didn't
happened?
hear anything after the 22nd of February. You're muted again.
Yeah, her audio is going in and out, so we'll go ahead and move on. Anyone else want to? I know Miss Marva has her hand up, but she's muted right now. Did you want to do a role play as well, Miss Marva? And you might want to.
I did, but I don't know. Am I ready? I don't know if I'm ready. But I'm home, so I
You
guess
are
it's all
ready. You're
good.
always ready, right?
Yeah,
So let's go
ADR,
ahead.
always be ready. Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go. Miss Laura Johnson, you want to go with her?
Sure, I'll be her person. I'll be her person since I'm already off of mute.
All right, sounds good.
I was gonna let me get my notes out here. I brought all my stuff with me, even though I'm at work and I'm not supposed to be doing this right now.
You're always ready. You're
Because
always
I've
ready.
got people coming in, and I'm doing parking enforcement, so I'm gonna try to get this in.
Okay.
So,
Ring,
ring. Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you, Carla.
Well, Marva, we're in the midst of our role play, so go ahead. I'll answer you, and then Carla can come back.
Okay.
Okay. So, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Laura. This is
Hi.
Marva from
Who's this?
Security Network Services.
Oh, hello.
Hi, great day. Hold on, my other phone is ringing, and I'm gonna tell him I'll call him back. There you go. Okay, so great morning. The reason for this call is that I'm with the security agency, and we offer 24/7 fully trained state licensed security guards, and can have them in a team in place for your community as soon as 5 days.
Okay.
So to be sure I'm not wasting your time, are you the person in charge of securing the community?
Yes, I am.
Then I'm speaking to the right person. That's great. So I'd like to ask you a few questions about which security measures you currently have in place for your community.
Well, I have security doors, locked security doors with key code pads, and
Okay.
That's what I have.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how does that work?
Well,
Who
it
has the
works
key codes?
pretty well. It works pretty well. You know, the residents don't have the codes, and you know, they have to, you know, be allowed in and out, and so that way, you know, it's been working pretty well. Fair.
Oh, okay. Do you currently have physically present security guards at your facility?
No, we don't have that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how long have you been without security at your facility? Physical security guards.
Well, we've actually never had physical security guards.
Okay. Have there been any security concerns at the facility?
Well, you know, there's always security concerns because you know, our residents get visitors, and sometimes the visitors, you know, don't behave as we think they should, or you know, so there have been a few concerns.
Tell me more.
Well, you know, if we get a visitor in that is, you know, maybe intoxicated, or you know, or sometimes there are some family issues where there there can be arguments between the residents and their visitors, and sometimes we've even had some thefts that have happened in some of the more secluded areas.
Uh-huh. Okay. And who's committing the thefts? Are they outsiders or employees or
Well, I don't
visitors?
I don't know who's committing the thefts. If I knew that, I'd have them arrested.
Okay, okay. Understood. So, what's the most important concern you have at this point about the security at your facility?
Well, my most important concern will always be the safety of my residents and also my staff. I want
Exactly.
my residents to be safe and feel secure in their living settings, and then I do want my um, employees to feel that they can work in a safe environment.
Absolutely. And it's my intention to provide a safe environment, welcoming for visitors and safe for residents and your staff as well. Did you have any other concerns besides the ones you already shared?
No, those are my concerns. Those are the main issues.
Okay, so if you could change one thing about, just having the key codes versus having additional systems in place, what would that be?
If I could change one thing, well, I guess I guess
Thank
if
you.
I had a physical presence, then they would be able to intervene if there was any individual incidents.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I'm here for you and your residents. So what I'd like to propose is that we have a chat. I'll come over and do a site survey for you. Um, what time today or tomorrow would you be available to do a site survey so that we can put an adequate number of guards in place for you, and you can determine whether they're 24/7 needed or not?
Well, tomorrow probably would be good.
Okay, tomorrow in the morning or the afternoon?
Let's do the afternoon.
Is 1:30 good for you or 3:30?
1:30 after lunch would be fine.
Perfect. Okay, so 1:30. And is there any other person in the facility, like a maintenance manager or a facilities manager that you would want in on this, a director?
No, I can make the decision about this.
Sounds great. So I'm going to send you over a calendar link. We're going to meet at 1:30 tomorrow. I'll be there for about maybe an hour. Now, normally this site survey is a $200 value, but I really want people, it's my mission to see that people are being safe and made aware of the vulnerabilities of their businesses. So if you just want me to do the site survey, it would be $200. If you decide to use when you decide to use our company, we draw up a contract. I'll deduct that from your first 3 months service.
Oh, well, I thought that you were coming just to explain it to me. I didn't know I had to pay for the site survey.
Well, I am going to come and give you some valuable information. Now, whether you use my company or not, I still want you to have that information. That's I messed up, y'all. So I don't know how to fix this.
Okay,
No
Angel will help
worries.
you. You
Let's
did
go
But
great.
I was
ahead.
trying to.
You did
My
great.
goal
You did
was
great.
to let her know there is value in having the information of the site survey.
Okay.
Whether she uses my company or not, it's my intention that her crew would be safe at their workplace. So I don't know where I can go to find the information to get me out of that rabbit hole I ended up in.
Sure. And I was just gonna touch base on that, but that's a great role play, right? So everybody give her a hand, a huge, massive hand, because if you were on the Grant Cardone when your very first time till now,
Oh wow, that was
you're
a
going
mess.
to see such a huge improvement, right? And it didn't take that long. Marva, what your first time role playing on the GCU was what, 2 weeks ago, right? Correct? That was your first time?
Last Friday.
Yeah. Last
Friday.
Friday, remember, she had zero script. She didn't know what to say, and now look how polished, right? Just since last Friday that
I'm trying.
that is done. So
And
that's
I
why I
did
want to
go
say kudos
Thursday.
to you, and your and the, you know, and your road, right? Your road to success, because that's it. Most people think that it's such, you have to know so much. No, you can actually literally change within a week. And Marva, you've already showed us that it can be done, right? From ground zero. So love it. Let me go ahead and give you your kudos. This is the greeting, right? This is the intro, right? So that's why it's imperative everyone go back this week. Like Mr. Bean said, study the sales process. Know where you are in the sales process, and it's going to help you a lot, right? It's going to help you with your script on whatever you do once you know where you are in the sales script. So this is the greeting. This is the introduction, right? I love it. She came in, she stated the reason for her call right away, set the expectations. And then I love how you ask the fact-finding questions, and, and finding out what is the issues or challenges that she was having, so that you can now go in and share how you can provide the service to help her challenges, right? So I love that you went straight from there into fact finding. And right here, in I know that you're fact finding, and when you do, there's little things that you can do when you're fact finding, just to not have it so awkward, right? It's just let them know, like, hey, this is really, you are really important to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and write down, right? Because I hear you say, okay, and that happens because you're trying to, it's just a natural instinct to draw time because you are writing it down. So just let her know, like, hey, this is important for me to remember. I'm gonna go ahead and write it down, so that I know how, I know how to help you, right? And most people are like, yeah, that's great. Nobody ever writes down what I say, right? Like they feel important now. So let them know. And that way, when you are quiet, they understand, like, hey, that awkward moment of silence is you writing it down, and they're okay with that, right? And so you don't have to say, okay, or have to say something. But when you do have to say something, instead of saying like, okay, or find, like, you actually have a word that you always say, absolutely. I heard that at the end. So instead of saying okay, and you need to go something, when somebody says something, you want to have that positive acknowledgement. So just say, yeah, absolutely, or perfect when they answer a question. That way you are responding to them, but in a positive thing, instead of using one of those transitions like okay, and then you were helping. Now she had a slew of challenges, right? So you found, you got to that meat and potatoes that you were looking for. She gave you a lot of things all in that time frame of what is going on in her business, right? So you hit the jackpot right there. So, and you did exactly what you're supposed to do, which is, go in there and tackle it. Now, you got the mechanics down, which is great, because the first thing is to get the mechanics down. Now is the part where you go in, and this is where you connect to your customer, right? This is where you have to work on, is the connection part. And so since you have the mechanics down, the next step is connection. So there's little places where you could connect, like that, like those little things that I said, acknowledgement phrases, like perfect, absolutely, right? So they're being heard, right? There's the connection there. And then when she made that little joke, right? When she made that little joke about, I would have called the police, right? Reciprocate, right? I know you were like on to the next, but when they give you humor, reciprocate, right? So when you have to stay in it a little while, right? Because she was like, I would have called the cops, and I say, yeah, exactly, or make another joke, but stay in that, because that's where your customer is trying to connect to you. And if you're just trying to get to the next part, you lost the connection right there. right? So when your customer is trying to connect, like interjecting humor, reciprocate. They're giving you humor, reciprocate humor, right? And then move on, right? So they're just little pieces of connecting, and that's going to get you a great outcome, right? Especially humor, right? And then when you ask the question of if I could change the one thing, that's after you found all the fact-finding questions, right? Now you're trying to figure out how to tie it all together. And you asked her, if I could, I would change that question to, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it, Laura, to you? And then and you recite her challenges that she just shared with you. You can go down the list, read it off. How important is it you to not have to call the police? How important is it to you to make sure, on a scale of 1 to 10? Now that's going to give you a better, right, understanding of how important, where she is in the process of wanting this and making a decision. Right? If you ask on a scale of 1 to 10, because if you ask, if I could change one thing, very open-ended, you don't know where she is, you don't know how important it is. If it's only like a 2, right? Now you got a lot of work to do. If it's a 10, if it's a 9, now you know you're gauging it. Yes. So that scale of 1 to 10 on how important it is to her is going to tell you how much work you need to do to help her make that decision, right? Okay. And then when you're saying what I'm proposing, right? And you want to be in charge of the control, right? A lot of times, and that's the thing with being in control of the situation is, I know when we're at service or when we call businesses and we call owners, we're always letting them take control of the appointment time, because we're like, shh, they're giving us an appointment. I'm just going to be happy I got an appointment. But no, you still have to stay in control. So you want to give her 2 options, not when do you think we can have this, right? Okay, great. What I'm proposing is to schedule a meeting. Now and give her 2 times. Like, is 1 p.m. tomorrow or 1 p.m. Wednesday better for you? Right? Give her 2 options. Don't allow her, don't give the control up. Because you were great until that part. You gave the control up during the part of the at the end, right? Because you're like, shoosh, she gave me the appointment. And that's the mistake, right? That you rendered control thinking that you got an appointment. No, you have to be in control through the whole conversation, right?
So I lost control when I asked her for what time tomorrow, or
yes, when you gave her the control. What you want to do is you say you don't give her the control. You say, will 1 p.m. work? Because you're looking at your schedule. So will 1 p.m. tomorrow or 5 p.m. Wednesday, whatever day it was, right? Like Monday.
So I
Will that
should
work for you? Yes, you always have to have 2 options. Yes.
So I should have just said, okay, well, let's meet at 1 p.m. tomorrow or 3 p.m. tomorrow. Which works better for you?
You can do that as well, right? I like to say, does 1 p.m. tomorrow or 5 p.m. work for you, right? Because it just makes it seem, when you say, does this work for you? It makes it seem like they're making the decision, but you're really leading them to that decision, right?
Okay.
So because it already works for you, right? So you're making it in your time, and that way you're not always having to run around, crazy hours of pleasing the customer as well, right? Because in the business of service, we're always pleasing the client, right, at their age, and they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you, like, no, those 2 times don't work for me. So if they're going to tell you if it doesn't work, but you're still in control, right? You're still in control. And that's the main thing, is being in control all the way to the end, right? And then that's going to help them. So, and this is the important part. And you stop there, because what happened, you went down the rabbit hole because you started selling, right? And this is the introduction. and this is when you start talking about like $200 or whatever, that starts the rabbit hole, right? Because you got it straight with the introduction and the
You're gonna go around to the front.
and
to the
booking the
front.
meeting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the goal in the greeting is to book the meeting, right?
Mhm.
Anything outside of that is selling, right? And we're not in the part of the selling. So if you skipped to the selling, that means you skipped a whole bunch of steps, and that's why it's not going to close the way you want it to close, right? Because you're going to have to go backwards. And if you watch the sales process, Grant says in there that whatever you skip, you're going to have to go back, and you're going to have to waste time, energy, and money when you have to go back.
And sometimes it frustrates the customer, because it's like, well, why are we talking about this now?
Yes,
So
see?
yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Exactly. Yeah, so
I just found my password for the Grant Cardone again. It was lost in emails. So I found it and I wrote it down. So now I can go in and listen.
Well, there's
I
going to be
guess
a
I
new
should
one
listen.
on the 5th. So yeah, go back in there and watch the sales process, because that's what we're missing. We're doing a lot of things that are not for later time in the actual greeting, right? So if you get the greeting wrong, you're already on a bad foot, because you only have that little bit of time to make a good impression. So that's all it is just in the greeting, is just keeping it light, putting the buyer at ease. So just think about it, right? In the greeting is putting the buyer at ease. So you just want them to be ease, and you want them to book that appointment, and and make sure that they're not, and then how it is for the greeting, right? So if you didn't start the selling into it, then you wouldn't go down that rabbit hole. And that's the only thing you would change. That would be for a later time in the sales process, was probably when you actually go in, do the assessment, meet them up and all of that stuff, right?
But how can I be more transparent about the value that I'm adding? So I can give you, am I going to call them for a separate time, not to get their business, but just to offer them the assessment? Like I can say a value of $200 for me to do the site assessment, but I can give it to you for one.
Correct.
You can either have it for $149 if you don't take the services, or $200 I'll take off of your first 6 months contract.
Correct. That would be after the scheduling of the meeting, or during the schedule of that meeting, right? So that's the same
But
thing.
if they think,
go ahead.
So scheduling the meeting is to talk about more about their needs, but then the site assessment, if I'm meeting them for a site assessment, then they should have known up front that I can come in and this is what I can do for you, Miss Laura. I can come in and do a site assessment.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. So if you, so how you do your security business is, first they book a meeting with you to assess and then you do a site assessment that you charge them for? Is that what it is?
Well, I've never done it before because I'm starting with this. It's been a long time, and we did site assessments. My husband and I, we had this business many years ago, but he got sick and we couldn't do it. We couldn't keep going. So I'm feeling my way. I'm finding my way to start and do this business. So I could either offer site assessments for XYZ price, or go in and give them get the service.
Okay, so you're offering it for free. Well, and what you can say is, I'm meeting you up, and usually I charge for and you can do that. I wouldn't do that on after booking the call. Once you book the call, then you're gonna have a confirmation, right? Like the confirmation call before the before the actual meeting, right? So on the confirmation call, say, hey, I usually charge, what is it, $150 or $200 for an on-site training, but for you, I can go ahead and bypass that, right? So, so there you're showing the value of that meeting, just to be sure that, we're confirming our appointment for tomorrow, right? So there you are, you're showing that you're adding, not only are you reaching out to confirm the appointment, you're reaching out to add value as well. Does that make
Okay.
sense? To add value for them to actually show up and for them to actually meet you and not be MIA, right? So you're also adding value there on the confirmation and stuff. But in the greeting, the whole thing is for you to set the
Yes, sir.
buyer, set the person at ease.
Some days.
Yes, and then to book the appointment. But that's good. Great job. All right, let's go ahead and I know we're out of time, but let's go ahead and help Miss Carla because let's do the last one because I know you were trying to get it in before we go. So let's go ahead and do you for the last one, right, of the day. So who wants to go? Let's go. Miss Laura Johnson has her line unmuted, so she's ready to go with you, Carla.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Good morning, Laura. This is Carla Wynn from Hartford Community College.
Good morning.
Great morning. Yes, the reason for my call today is because we are sponsoring an internship fair on February 22nd. Last year, you participated in our internship fair, and I'm calling to confirm that you are still interested in summer and fall 2024 interns.
Well, yeah. Could you just refresh my memory about what I'll be getting for the internship fair?
Okay, so you'll get to interview some of our engineering students or computer information technology students just to fulfill the specific need that you have for the course of the summer of 2024 for the paid internship opportunity.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, I'm still interested.
Great. So again, our program is going to be on Thursday, February 22nd, the Student Center at Hartford Community College, room 243. Now, short of a snowstorm, is there any reason why you or a representative from your team will be attending the internship fair?
No, I'll make sure that we have a representative there.
Great. So Laura, thank you so much for making that commitment. So specifically, why are you committing to attending the internship fair this year?
Well, you said that I'll be able to be exposed to the engineering interns and interns that may be able to fill a need within my company. So one of the things is that, it's hard finding good workers.
Absolutely. And these students are associates level students. So we have first and second year students who are learning some things in the classroom. And we look forward to your participation in hiring some of our interns this year.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Look forward to seeing you then. I'll be sending you a reminder email. Thank you again. That's it.
All right. Well, see, it's a very simple, and I love this example because you can use it in anything, right? And I love what you did. It's very smooth, right? Very smooth transition into it, and I love how she when she made that little joke, you're like, absolutely right. You always want to connect to your person that's speaking and take that little time to when she's making a joke, reciprocate it, say something, even if you might not be good at jokes or connecting at that time, but you said absolutely, right? There's just a little bit more things that you could actually tweak to connect a little bit more, right? Because so you're doing the internships, and these are, did you say clients that are sending representatives here, right?
Yes. So these are employers that will be sending representatives to to hire some of our students as interns.
Okay. So in order to get a better understanding of the client, you could do the fact-finding questions in there, right? So to not waste your time, always starts that, right? To not waste your time, let me ask you a few questions. That way you know your client, right? Because that little bit of connection is just like the form technique, but you got to form your clients, right? From being a client ABC to a client Laura Johnson, right?
Right.
So that little touch of connection, it like fact-finding questions is going to make the difference between them saying, well, you know what? Carla's invested in me and my company. I'm gonna make sure to send someone there.
Right.
Right. So that little like fact-finding, what are the 3 questions that you know that you can ask them so that you know that you'll be able to help them in the internship, right? What that internship will, how that internship will be beneficial to them.
Right.
Right. So find 3 questions at least to help you decide so they can give you some kind of answer or qualifying where they're gonna qualify the people that are coming. Right. Because somebody could just say, yeah, I'm interested. Oh, and that's another thing. So interested is a trigger word. Right? So I stay away from the word interested. It's a trigger word for any and all opportunities, all MLMs. Have you ever had somebody say, hey, are you interested? And people are like, no, I'm not interested. But you didn't even know what I was going to say. It's because the word interested is a trigger word.
Right. That's right. Okay.
So because so many salespeople use it, so your brain, your subliminal messages has trigger warnings for certain words that people use all the time. So when you're going up to the cash register, hey, are you interested? Walking by, there's a cell phone person, are you interested? See, that word now has come into your subliminal messages and say, sales, and it says warning, 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 no. So you automatically say no. I automatically say no too. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to say no, right? Because I don't want that objection in me. But my brain automatically tells me no. Because why? Because it's a trigger word. So instead of saying interested, are you looking for? Change that word, right? Are you looking for is a good change or transition, right? Instead of interested. Are you looking for an internship program that will help your employees? Right? Are you currently looking for to grow your portfolio? Are you currently looking for saving money on your electricity? See how it changes? Instead of saying interested, right? Your brain doesn't do that warning sign, right? When you hear those words. And that's just the different words that you just like but, right? But is also another bad trigger word too, right? So that's just those little type of things. But besides that, everything was great. You have the mechanics down. Just connect a little bit more with the fact finding and like a little bit of humor in there. When she did the humor, I mean, you did reciprocate, but you could have spent a little bit more connecting time, right? Because the clients with the employees, people want to do business with people. Like, honestly, like a lot of business owners get salespeople every day, but the only reason why they stick to a salesperson is because of the connection, right? Because I used to go to business owners for organo when I was doing organo, and they said no to every single salesperson, but they didn't say no to me because I connected. It took me 3 or 4 times just popping up and saying, hey, how's it going? Right? Even when they said no to me, I didn't take no I just said as a right now. And once they were my client, when other people came in with organo and there was a lot, they're like, oh no, I got my angel. Yeah, I got angel. Don't worry about it. I'm taken care of, And so that's what you want to do with any of your clients where they were like, yeah, Carla got me. Like, I'm good. Carla, right? They know your name, and that's just a little bit of connection and taking time. But Thank you, everybody. I love you all, and I'm so excited for 2024 with everything that Mr. and Mrs. Bean is putting together for us to help us grow. So everybody enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you again, same time next week. Have a great
Thank you.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.